Hey guys, I just wanted to share with you another project that I'm working on today. I'm hoping to finish it today also and maybe even test it out today or tomorrow. And what it is I've got this performance cam. Yes, there's different brands out here, but I just installed the clutch uh, pack that they make for these with the springs that are competitive with the other 60% stronger springs out there. So I'm going to give them a try. So I've got to take all this stuff off of the Grom here. I have some crash protection. And then I'm going to get it set to top dead center. And I'm going to start taking stuff off. What else have I been working on? Sensors. Okay, I got those out of the way. And I got my 8mm socket on my 1/4" drive and my 8mm open end wrench. I'm going to be using the close end mainly because it's a ratchet one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to take my valve covers off here and here. Okay, I got those off of there. Now I'm going to expose the timing marks on the stator flywheel. Okay, I went ahead and got that exposed. And I have my timing mark here and here on the cog here. And you probably can't see it, and I'm not going to mess with zooming it. But there's a little T mark, and it's lined up with the mark on the stator cover there. And the next thing I'm going to do is, got cut off of there on the last video. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this cam tensioner bolt, and then I'm going to remove this center bolt for the cam cog gear. Is that the technical description? That's what I'm going to call it. Got my drain pan underneath here. And the reason why I was worried about a little bit of oil coming out of this tensioner bolt here, because it's just got a spring behind that maintaining it, and I'm just trying to get a little extra tension off of it. And I might take it all the way out when I'm ready to do this. But I broke this loose by keeping a socket on this, retaining the pressure that I was creating over here, and I was able to break that loose. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the rockers here. So I'm going to get those loosened, and then I'll be able to proceed on. Okay, next step here, I got a 9mm, and I put it on the rocker retaining nut there. And I'm just going in here and I'm backing this off so that I can create some clearance between the cam and the lifter there. And I'm just going to be able to remove this, take the cam chain off, and remove the cam after I get to the cam retainer back behind here. I'll show you that. Okay, I went ahead and got that tensioner backed off a little bit more and removed that cog. And I also removed the retainer for the cam here. And I put all my stuff in this little magnetic tray. It doesn't really do me good for the aluminum, but it helps me stay organized. Next up, I'm going to remove this cam. Okay, this thing was pretty stubborn, but I was able to get it going and get it started and get it completed. So I've got this one here, and I will lube up the new one, and I'll just show you that process. Okay, and what you probably usually see me when I'm doing a new assembly or even putting something back together, I always use Lucas Assembly lube. And so I got these lobes lubed up and also put some in our bearings here, and I'm going to reinstall it. Okay, I got that pushed in there, and I got these just halfway snug back down, and I just wanted them closer to spec. And what I will do is adjust the valve clearance as soon as I get all this other stuff back on here. I'm going to make sure that this is for sure in time, then I'm going to work on getting the cog gear on the cam. Put the retainer on. Okay, I got it back in time, and I got this cog back on here. I ended up having to pull the tensioner all the way out and got it replaced after I got this in place. Got it torqued down, and Now I'm going to cycle this over a few times and get these valves in spec, and then I'm going to cycle it a few more times over to make sure that it's going to be the new setting for it. I'll check it up. I'll follow up on it after I put a few miles on it just to make sure. But I'm at a stopping point for right now, and then I'll come back later on. So I'm not giving up on it. I'll see if I can get this done later on today. Okay, I went ahead and got my valves adjusted. I will say this cam was pretty nice. It came with these extra, these longer adjusters here for the rocker, but I was not able to get the original ones out of there with much ease. So without too much trouble, I was able to get it adjusted. So I cycled it over a few times, got them followed up on it, and there was no adjustment needed afterwards. So I'm going to put everything back together and adjust my tuner, which I got when I got my intake and exhaust modification done, and they graciously provided a setting for a performance cam, so I should be good to go. Okay, I went through and got everything buttoned back up, and I went to my controller and looked at my settings at what it showed for being a baseline for a cam. And so there's my idle, my acceleration, my wide open throttle, and then it's a delay for each of those settings is also different for the cam. So here we go. Let's see what she does. Is she going to start for me? Okay, I'm here with my Grom, and I just got done doing a test ride with the new settings made. The cam and the fuel controller settings seem to be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and check my spark and make sure that that's not running it lean. I don't think it will be because I'm sending a lot more fuel at it via the controller. But I'm pretty impressed. I was able to reach 60 miles an hour, just staying fairly upright in my position with and against the wind. It was a little bit easier to get to it with the wind, but there's not a whole lot of wind. It's got a little bit more oomph, which is what I was looking for, especially on the jaunts I make on the highway. So I'm pretty happy with it, and I'd recommend it. But as a final thought, if you're looking to do this to your Grom, don't even mess with it unless you have a fuel controller. You'll probably blow it up.